Welcome back to the Decode Podcast booth at IPC Apex 2025. We are here with our esteemed, this has got to be one
colleague.
of our colleague. Yeah, sure, colleague. We're podcasters. He's we're here.
He's a peer
with Mike Konrad, the legend, the one and only. So, Mike, how is Apex going for you so far?
I don't know if my head just got bigger. You're going to have to get a wider shot on this camera.
It's going to get a lot bigger by the end of this, buddy.
How was the show? How is the show so far? Good, very good. We have good turnout. We brought a new product out, so we've been teasing that. So people are coming to see what we're teasing.
Yeah, that behemoth.
Is that the XL?
It's got a lot of interest in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what makes our machines look even better is one of our machines, two of our machines have boards that were made by this company this obscure company called K&F Electronics, and they are Detroit strong. And they made boards for us. So they have our beautiful logo, copper on the board. And then our stencil cleaner has this beautiful stencil with our logo in it.
I've
and
seen
it's by
that.
another obscure company called Metal Etch Services.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's an honor to have a product anywhere near your booth. And for the benefit of the two people in this industry that don't know who you are, Mike Konrad with
And that's only because
Aqueous Technologies.
They don't have podcasts in prison.
and the Reliability Matters podcast.
Yeah.
And
Entrepreneur podcast, too.
Yeah, and author.
And
we could take the rest of the time
should we
going
just
through
go
his
down the
accolades.
list?
I'll just leave and just scroll the credits.
But the theme for our podcast series, this IPC Apex, has been problems and solution, and I want to highlight one problem and solution scenario. So, problem: we're a podcast with no remote recording equipment. Solution: Mike Konrad hooks us up. So, definitely want to say, Mike's.
Yeah,
Mike.
Thank you for supporting us there and setting us up with a beautiful setup, and we literally, this is no hyperbole, literally could not be doing this without your support. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. When you guys came to me and told me we were thinking of starting a podcast, I was super stoked about that because we need legitimate podcasts in this industry. Mm-hmm. What I mean by legitimate is non-commercial, problem solution, best practices, and not, what do you sell and what's on sale and what are your, how do you beat your competitor? There's plenty of venues for that. There's nothing wrong with that, but they don't belong on an education-based podcast.
Yeah.
And what you guys brought to the table was non-commercial and kind of cool, fun, like stuff that you got a vibe about you guys that you don't take yourselves too seriously. And I think that's landing on our industry. As our industry gets more and more younger people in it, they dig this stuff, and you're speaking in their language, you're of their generation, and you're not exploiting the opportunity.
No, I mean, shameless plug for ourselves, but when we start, we've done this after work hours on our own, invested our own time and money into this thing because we believe in what we're doing, and we wouldn't be doing it without you. So we're thrilled to have you here.
Tiny part from a tech standpoint, but you guys are carrying your own weight. This is your show, and you're doing great at it.
But, I mean, you got to understand, too, in the beginning when we first proposed this, let's do a podcast, I'm pretty didn't you send a YouTube or a PowerPoint that Mike did about?
Yeah, Mike literally did a presentation for me on So You Want to Start a Podcast.
And he sent it to us, and we were all reading it. Yeah. So, I mean, from the very conception of, the idea, you, in your groundwork of education online, right, has laid the foundation for
the
what
Podfather.
Yeah.
Podfather.
I love it. The Podfather.
I like that. The Podfather. I wanted to make it easier on you than it was on me. I had to learn all the tech stuff by going on YouTube. I'd search, audio mixer or, camera switcher or microphones. And it'd be some 13-year-old kid from some other country with an accent. I couldn't understand what they're saying. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to watch that. And then I'd end up going back because that was the best. So I got taught by 12 and 13-year-old children because they're plugged in. They know how to do it. Right? So you lose all your humility.
They're the subject matter experts.
Realize that your SME is 12 and, filming it on his iPhone.
Right.
When his parents think he's sleeping. So that's how I learned. And it's ironic that our industry makes all the tech I've loaned you. And our industry largely doesn't know how to use any of that tech. We know how to make it. We don't know how to
Totally.
use it.
Mhm.
So, I had to learn to use it. You guys have learned to use it. Producer Paul over here, who really needs to be on camera at some point, so the world can see he's the best of all of us. I showed him a real quick demo of how to use the software that we're using for this, and boom, he's got down.
By all accounts, we'll actually have footage at the end of this.
Yes, we should. We should.
Pretty good chance he actually hit record.
Right.
Yeah, I can't help with that, but that's the number one rule: hit record. Yeah,
As he runs down the aisle adjacent to us.
cussing and swearing. Yeah.
But no, that knowledge share and shortening that learning curve for us is, we can't even put a value to it. And showing up early and working with Paul and getting him trained up on the platform. I know he's an easy study, but still that goes a long way. So
Well,
we
it made it
certainly
easy for me
appreciate
that he's an easy study, but
I do want to mention something I was impressed with about your company is there is another CM by me that does longboard printing, right? Big ones too, like 4 foot plus. And Aqueous made a custom made, I don't know if you're aware of this one, like one of the longest ones in I don't know about North America.
stencil cleaner.
It's huge.
Yeah, I saw that in the factory.
And you guys made it in like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just I told Chad the other day, I was messing around, like I might do like my next scuba diving video inside that thing. It's so big, right? It's just cool how you guys have the adaptability to work with what your customer needs you for, right? And a lot of people want inline. The more I learn about it, the more I don't want inline. I want batch, and that's what's cool about that XL, right? You can fit more of your stuff inside of it.
That's the large chamber cleaner. We resisted for years building a large chamber cleaner because it's like going to Ford and saying, "Hey, I like the Ford Focus. Can you make it 2 inches longer?" Right? They would have all new tooling. It'd be tens of millions of dollars in R&D and engineering to make it 2 inches longer. So that was our 2 inches longer dilemma. So we always said no because there's a very small percentage of the market that needs those giant boards cleaned.
And it would require a large investment on your end to get there.
But so I've had this company now for 33 years, and for 33 years, everyone wanted a chamber 2 inches larger or whatever. And we kept saying no. And finally, I think we kind of did the math and we realized that not only will people who have larger boards that won't fit in a standard machine buy it, but maybe you don't have larger boards. Maybe you just have regular small boards. Now you can fit more of them in. So the throughput doubled.
Yeah.
Our calculations show the throughput doubled if you just have standard boards compared to standard boards that fit in a regular machine.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden we're not making a machine designed for a minority of the market. Now it's...
Yeah, it's not niche. It just is.
No, not niche anymore. It's just bigger.
Yeah.
So now you can buy it for throughput or you can buy it for capacity, size capacity, either one. So that made us feel better about it.
Solves two problems instead of just one rare one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the market grew and that kind of justified it in our head.
You were going to bring up, I believe Mike did some speaking here.
Yeah, I heard there was a speaker at IPC Apex, and his name was Mike Konrad.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm not wearing my
And I
badge.
think I don't know if you're talking about anti-cleaning or something like that, or what?
Yeah, I was telling people they should never clean. They should never buy any equipment from a company that starts with A.
So what did you speak about at the IPC?
I taught a professional development course. There's 3 things that go on at these shows. There's the standards meetings, where you come up with all the rules. There's the regular presentations, which are 30-minute presentations on particular subjects, and then there's professional development courses, half day and full day. Half day is 3 hours. That's what I teach, and they charge people per. If you want to go to one, they charge you. And I taught the cleaning and cleanliness quantification boot camp. I've taught that here before, but it changes every time I teach it. And it's a 3-hour course. 3 hours is lovely because it gives me the time to get deeper and go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, 45 minutes is tough to really...
Well, it's 30-minute total regular presentations,
Okay.
but 20 to 25 is the presentation and 5 to 10 is Q&A. I can't say hello in 25 minutes, as everyone around me can testify.
Sure.
Producer Paul's going, Yeah.
Can't
That's an
say goodbye
understatement.
either. That's what producer Paul's saying.
Yeah, you can't say goodbye. It's Klingon. It's just always here. So that allows me time, and we can go down rabbit holes, and we can make it very comprehensive. So I taught that. I love teaching that course.
Yeah, that's fair. Mike, do you have any questions that you want to
Okay,
ask
you've
Sean?
had your first season, your Rev. You've had your first Rev.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was it what you thought it would be?
I don't think any
No.
of us could have anticipated what would happen 7 months after we started, right? I mean, it's gone way faster than any of us were ready or prepared for or expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're getting 1 million downloads or anything, but the buzz around it is extreme. Like, I mean, the momentum, you
It
can
is.
feel it. The overwhelming support of people at this event, not just from the IPC alone, but just the people walking. How many times have you guys heard from somebody, oh, you guys are doing this is great that you guys are doing this. Like, it's like what we hear all day from the people that we're trying to reach. So
Yeah.
that's
think
validating
that's-
and confirming.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is for me. It's less about what we've done or what we're doing and more about how people are responding and the support that we're receiving and the mentorship that's coming out of, all corners of the industry from, we've talked to some folks today that it's like, gosh, like you just read their resume and it's like, why are you talking to us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, one thing I love about our industry is it's exceptionally collaborative. We can be competing all throughout the year, throwing rocks over the fence, backstabbing, and then we get to these events and I'm speaking, my competitor's speaking, their competitor's speaking, all in a row because we're in the cleaning sessions, and we are collaborative. We are
Even on your
colleagues.
podcast, you've had competitors
Sure.
on
the same
the same
podcast.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I just turned down the quality of their sound. I make sure they're slightly out of focus. Subliminal.
Yeah.
Subliminal. Producer Paul, take notes. No, but our industry is highly collaborative, and we have to be because we're given problems to solve by new tech. That the tech was designed, and now here you figure out how to mount it to a board.
Yeah.
You figure out how to clean it. You figure out how to etch the board and drill microvias in and all this stuff. You figure out how to make the world's smallest stencil apertures.
Yeah.
And you figure out how to put it all together. We need to work together.
Yeah.
So your podcast and others like it
Reliability
really
matters.
help. Not like there are any like it, but politically correct thing to say. These types of venues really provide a resource for that collaboration
Yeah.
on file because they're evergreen. So, if someone is discovering your show or my show or someone else's show today, Rev 2 point whatever, episode 170 for me, they discover it where they discover it, and then they can go back and you have a catalog.
And
So
they're like, these guys had Mike Konrad on season 1?
my
Yeah.
first guest on my show was I'm sure you've heard of him, Doug Paul. No, I'm sorry. Doug Paul's was later. A guy named Bob Willis,
Yeah.
English guy,
Sure.
Bob Willis.
Yeah.
And he's like the consultant's consultant, right? He's famous. He produces all this
He
content.
does that like defect related content.
Yeah, defect of the month
Yeah.
or whatever. But I asked him to be my first guest on the show. This is before we even went on camera. This was just, I literally recorded it in my clothes closet because it was the only room that acoustically sounded like I wasn't in the shower, And
Humble beginnings.
yeah, I didn't want anyone to get that visual. So, so I thought, well, Bob's going to say no because I don't have any subscribers at 0, but he was kind enough to do it. He threw me a bone and I've had him on several times since then. But to the point that our industry is very generous with their time and their knowledge, and you guys are very generous with your time and your willingness to share, to catalog, to memorialize, to record that knowledge and make it available for people you don't even know. So
And
that's good.
One last point, I guess. The only guest we had before you was Alex Norman, who you're familiar
Yes.
with. And he's great, but I do want to warn you, he may have a competing product for washing stencils that you might not be aware of. So
Does the name Maytag ring a bell?
He made a great satirical video about washing stencils that will
Yeah, the
definitely
dishwasher.
That's
producer
funny.
Paul
Yeah.
will.
He
That's
put
funny.
Dawn dish soap all over.
No, he
the
literally
set. Yeah.
It was
he rubbed dish
fantastic.
soap all
We'll
over
have to
it.
Well,
show
keep
you
in mind, he
after
also
this.
puts on like a fro.
Yeah, Bob.
And pretends to be the painter.
Yeah.
Alex Ross. Yeah.
Alex
Yeah.
Ross. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are no mistakes. There are only
Happy little
Bob
surprise.
Ross.
little surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Alex. I had him on my show too, and he's a hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Well, we still have other people we have to talk to, or else we would probably just keep talking to you forever, Mike.
Hey, we'll continue the conversation in some bar tonight
Yeah.
or something. That's
All
probably what happened.
right.
Bingo.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me on my show. Congratulations on your show's success
Yeah.
and the fact that people know who you are and want to work with you. And I think the entire industry is rooting for your success. So keep doing the good work.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike.